the 8th Senate, and I never harassed her. Distinguished Senator Uche Ekunife, who also served with me. I even went to her house when she was having a chieftaincy title. I think I've visited your home more than once or twice, and there was no time I harassed you. And I have a distinguished Senator Stella Odoi, and my Amazon, who was with me in the minority leadership in the 8th Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, distinguished Senator Biodun Olujimi, herself, a former deputy governor of the state. These are women very close to my heart. I congratulate all of you. The President of the National Council of Women's Societies, my dear sister Naobi, representing all the other fighters for the rights of women in Nigeria. My sister, who has refused to tell the truth, the Honorable Minister of Women Affairs, my distinguished sister Iman. You only mentioned that the Senate, under my leadership as Chairman of National Assembly, increased the budget of your ministry by 1,000%. Am I right? 1,000%. That's the only thing she mentioned. But she did not mention to you that when she appeared to defend the budget, before the Senate, it was a woman who walked her out. It was a female senator who walked her out. That she did not come prepared. That the other male senators pleaded with the female senator that they should allow her to present the budget. She had another function to go for Mr. President in Lagos, but the female senator insisted that she was, the way she started was disrespectful to the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that she needed to walk out of the venue. All pleas and entreaties ended on deaf ears, and she cried out of the Senate on that day. I had to call her to tell her that that does not represent us. And the woman that walked her out of that committee was the distinguished Senator Natasha. She didn't want to go personal. But you see, we are talking about character. So for me, I just want to point out that your attitude determines your altitude. I'm saying this because I saw a lot of Yokopers up there. One day we'll have a female as Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You know, Crystal Magnum, who falsely accused 3 Duke University lecturers, lacrosse players, lost her lawsuit against the 3 men and had to apologize. And this was said to have happened in 2006 in the United States of America. Our women must rise above pettiness. At the news, National Institute of Legislative and Democratic Studies. Last year, as soon as I came in as the Senate President, I directed and we convoked a conference on women in governance. That was in August 2023. And then we instituted and created a division in the institute known as Gender Inclusivity Unit, essentially to support the drive for inclusivity as a major project for women in Nigeria to be included in the politics of this country and in all areas, fields of human endeavor. The 9th Senate had about 9 senators out of 109. But the 10th Senate has just 4 women out of 109. As we celebrate this Women's Day, we must ask ourselves, how come the number is depleting despite the advocacy instead of increasing? I know my sister and NOP did not want to go into details, but certain things are avoidable. We must look inwards. Women should not always weaponize the agenda. It is not in all instances that you use your gender as a major weapon for sentiments, as a weapon for pity. I have 4 daughters. I have a wife. And I was raised by a woman who lost her husband at the age of 22. My late mother died in the year 2000. And she was the only father I knew. She raised me well. She raised me well. I cried for over 1 year when she was gone. I don't want to, if I speak too much now, many of you will say that I'm saying I had no shoe. So I'm not going to go into that. But just to say that sometimes when I watch television or social media, I will turn and ask my wife, are they talking about me? And then she will say, I don't know, I can't tell. I'm just listening to them. My daughters know how caring a father I am. My wife knows how loving a husband I am. I won an award as the most women-friendly governor in Nigeria. It was not for nothing. I appointed the first female deputy governor in my state when I was a state governor. I appointed 3 chief judges of my state, and they were all women. All of them were women. I created opportunities for women in my cabinet, many of them, and even in the House of Assembly. The chief whip was a woman. So many of them. The deputy speaker. Then here I am. The head of service was a woman. The 2 that I appointed were all women. Then I come to federal level. I work with my colleagues who are here, who can testify. And my sister, Marcy, which sounds Igbo-ish, she can testify. We used to call her the paragon and the beauty of the 8th Senate. But at no time was she ever molested. She was never harassed. In fact, if anybody were to harass her, she is the one that would have harassed me. Because by the time you win election to the Senate, you are almost a man. And you come there to defend the rights of the girl child, children in secondary school and in universities who are being daily molested by lecturers. As a student union leader, I had occasion to walk into a professor's office and then warn the professor that you see what will happen if so-so girl does not pass your course. And after passing the girl, he will come down to see me, call me out of the class and said, go and ask her, she had B+. I said, why didn't you give her A? So, because they threaten girls, sometimes they will write examination and their paper will suddenly miss. And the man will say, see me in the office. So I've been a great advocate for the rights of women. I'll remain so till the day I die. So, you should have brought up the issue that is making the rounds. Have you ever wondered, did you take stock when you were with me, when you came to see me with your women leaders? Did you ask me, when did this issue happen? It's only yesterday that I realized that what we are talking about happened only after the change of seats in the Senate. That is when hell was let loose, and all sorts of allegations came up. Only after the change of seat in the Senate and change of committee, which my senators know happen from time to time. Said to have happened on the 8th of December, a day to my birthday, which was celebrated in the stadium in 2023. So from 8th of December 2023, I never heard, my wife never heard, no Nigerian never heard, even the husband never heard any issue of sexual harassment until our committee was changed, and then our seat was changed, and she went on. Have you ever wondered the trauma caused by that same woman on the other people she had accused in the past? None has been proven so far. You've not wondered. Do you even wonder the trauma caused to the 10th Senate and the image of the Senate with all these useless allegations? I've refrained myself from making a statement. Look at these beautiful women. They've come across me so many times. Have I ever harassed any of you? Or is the person thinking that you are not beautiful? So I don't want to dwell on that. But let me just say that time will tell. If we are in court, the court will decide. My other sister, the one they sometimes refer to as Joy Nuni, I like to mention her name because she'll be hearing from my lawyer anytime in the next 1 week. Crime never dies. When I received a letter from the late Abakari, Chief of Staff, that the certificates were questionable and she did not do national youth service, I wrote to the NYC. The NYC responded, and so I quickly changed her before it became a scandal. As soon as she was changed, hell was let loose. She first said, oh, Akpabio wanted me to swear to an oath of allegiance in the villa. And then they told her that the whole villa is wired. She said, what do I say? The next thing she came and said, he tried to touch me, and I slapped him. I'm the first woman in Niger Delta to slap him. So Ruben Abati now said, is it like sexual harassment or rape? She said, no, not rape, maybe something like that. I said, what? Is it sexual harassment? She said, yes, sexual harassment. That's what you want me to pursue. So that I will go and tell the world that she was parading fake NYC certificate. Then I will tell the world that she committed perjury. She lied under oath. And yet I have 4 daughters, and I would like to protect their image. Since people have decided to go into the gutter, let's all go into the gutter. Let's bring out everything so that you see why women also have to note that their attitude will determine their altitude. We can increase the number of women in parliament by our own, by preventing the idea of weaponizing gender. The woman should not be looking at herself as a weaker sex. My second daughter is a very strong woman. She has got her master's, she's doing her PhD right now. She's very strong, probably stronger than me. And she disagrees with me. Deep inside me, sometimes when we argue, and she says, Daddy, you're wrong, I will tell her, I'm older than you. She said, don't use age here. So I'm very proud of my children, and I know that they will do well amongst you. Let's talk to ourselves. Listen to the minister. The minister just suffered from a fellow woman. Put up a woman in any senatorial district today for Senate. Other women will go and vote for the men. You will never vote for yourself. So let's start by questioning you. How come you don't elect your own? Because when the minister was speaking, When the minister was speaking, the minister said that women constitute 51% of the voting population in Nigeria. So why then are you taking the backstage in terms of political representation? Women will never vote for themselves. So ask me, if a woman does not want to vote for a woman, am I the one that will force the woman to go? But we have a solution. We have a solution. I've traveled around. I've seen what is happening in Tanzania. I've seen what is happening in South Africa, Malawi, and so many other countries. They have a certain percentage constitutionally reserved for women. But what they do is that they do it through appointment, particularly in United Arab Emirates and other countries, including Somalia. They put a percentage for women in parliament. And then after the election, those women are added to the number, and they enjoy equal status with the men. Because sometimes, because of religious differences and all sort of issues, women find it difficult to even aspire because their husbands may sack them from the homes. So they make those provisions. We are discussing that in the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. If it means tinkering with the act to enable women, the Electoral Act, to enable women to have solid say in the parliament, we will do so. Women are better managers. I can say that women are better managers. But sometimes women can be harder than men. Yes, when they take decisions, they take decisions. But they are very prudent in all aspects of life. If you didn't manage us well, we won't even get here. That's a simple truth. Imagine if it was my mother that died and my father was 22 years. Will I be a Senate president today? Because my father would never be at home. But my mother stayed at home and tutored us, suffered, did all sorts of petty jobs, took us through the Civil War, and brought us to where we are. May I so rest in perfect peace. So mine is to assure you that on this Women's Day, I pledge before you that the National Assembly will work closely with all the women leaders. When I met my sister, I used to admire her and her afro hair on television. And at the time I thought she was working for INEC, such a great woman of integrity. She came with a lot of other women, and I saw them, I was amazed. I said, immediately they called me and said they wanted to see me. I said, come now, come now, come now. And under 40 minutes, I met with them. Because an innocent heart has no qualms and has nothing to fear. But you know, so let me salute our daughters, salute my dear wife, Ekaite Unamagos Akpabio, and salute all the women. The battle is just beginning. We must go back to where we see upward movement of women in all spheres of life. That is the only way I'll have hope and fulfillment, that I've left solid legacies behind in politics, because I've created opportunities for my children. 4 of them are women, to rise to the zenith of their professions in future. We must condemn all issues of sexual harassment that are not fake. We must tell women not to use tears to look for sentiment when they are making false accusations. We must also let women know that governance is not about vanity. So if a common seat can cause the kind of hulubalo, and then you ask why don't you want to move from the seat, and somebody sits on television and says that is the only place that the camera catches me where? Are we doing beauty contests in the Senate? It's a serious place. It's not a place that you come to look for camera to catch you. But we have left room for reconciliation.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I'm here today with my colleagues because one woman refused to surrender. even when my father succumbed to the pangs of death, she stood tall against the winds of misfortune. They told her to choose a husband amongst my uncles, and she said she had a son who was 6 months old, that she had chosen to marry that son, since the son was part of that family. So she married me when I was 6 months old and refused to marry any other person. To the greater number of Nigerian women, as we swing the doors open for you and we put opportunities within your grasp, let it be known that your character, your integrity will be required as you move forward. The fight of the Nigerian woman will not be won by those who seek vanity for vanity's sake, but those who understand the burden of and the responsibility and the weight of leadership entrusted upon them. We need women who will not bicker over trivial things, the women who will go out there with courage to remain role models to future generations. The 10th Senate under my leadership is pro-women. We have given the nation a pledge to revisit and support all gender equality bills which suffered many rejections in previous Senates. The special seats I've just discussed with you, we are proposing that. That came up, I think, in the 9th Senate, but this time around, it will become a reality. We must make this happen because the voices of our women must be heard. So I want to thank you and thank the organizers for inviting me to come. There's nothing I will say against a woman and win. But let me say that to God be the glory, that we have a lot of women here who believe strongly in the legal maxim that says, Odi Oterem Patem. Mrs. Olujimi, this is where you belong. Odi Oterem Patem. Let the other side be heard. Congratulations on your Women's Day.
Can we give the President of the Senate with all the assurances of gender equality bill and